This video is the first lesson for our inequalities unit. Before we do anything, we're going to review what our inequality symbols stand for. So, inequalities are statements of imbalance, saying one thing's bigger than something else or smaller than something else. So the first symbol, this one means is greater than. The next one means is greater than or equal to. This one means is less than. This one means is less than or equal to. Hopefully that's not brand new to you. So the first topic we're going to talk about is how to pick solutions for inequalities. I want to review over equations first though, because equations had only one solution. And for example, we've got x minus 3 equals 2. You'd figure out that x equals 5. Hopefully that's not a brand new concept to you. If it is, go back and watch some of the equation videos we have. X can be 5. It can only be 5. It can't be anything else. When you start dealing with inequalities, though, inequalities have more than one solution. Now today we're just going to scratch the surface, but inequalities actually have an infinite amount of solutions, and we'll get into that in a few more lessons. Picking the proper solution. First, we're just going to show you this inequality. Pause the video, see if you can figure out which of these numbers work. It might be 1, it might be all of them, it might be none at all. So when we set up the substitutions, I'm substituting each of these choices for the value of n. I'm plugging in a -8, a -6, and so on. Now we're going to work each one out. -8 minus 8. You need to remember your integer rules. That's going to work out to -16. When you work out -6 minus 8, you're going to get -14. 6 minus 8. When you work that out, you're going to get a -2. And then we're going to get 8 minus 8, and you get a 0. Now what we're going to do is go through and see which of these statements are true. -16 is greater than -2. That's not going to be true. This is not going to be true either. -2 is greater than 2. That's not true. -2 is equal to -2. 0 is greater than -2. That's the only statement here that's true. Now some kids might get confused because, 0 is pretty small. It's nothing. But think of it this way. I'd rather have nothing. Having nothing is greater than owing $2, if you want to think of it in terms of money. So this is the only choice that made this inequality true. We're going to try another one. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can pick some numbers that would work. So what we're going to do is plug in all the numbers. We have 4 times -7 is less than -12. Well, that 4 times -7 works out to a -28. And I brought down the rest of the inequality. Now we're going to look at this next one. We have this 4 times -5, which is -20. I'm bringing down the rest of the inequality. Here we have 4 times -3, which is -12. I'm bringing down the rest of the inequality. Over here I have a +12. And I'm bringing down the rest of the inequality. So now we're going to look at each of these statements. -28 is less than -12. Is that a true statement? -20 is less than -12. Is that a true statement? -12 is less than -12. Is that true? 12 is less than -12. Is that statement true? We have two numbers that make this inequality true. -28 is less than -12. -20 is less than -12. Once again here, a lot of kids might pick this one because when you plug in a -3, it works out to -12. And kids will say, oh, well, -12 is equal to -12. But we're not looking at an equal sign here. We're looking at the less than sign. A lot of kids will mess this one up. Be real careful. So here's another one. This one says -5 times a is greater than or equal to -20. So pause the video, see if you can figure out which choices work. You go ahead and plug them in. You're going to do -5 times -7 and get a 35. I drop down the rest of the inequality. I do the same thing here, -5 times -4, that's a positive 20. I drop down the rest of it. -5 times 4, get a -20. -5 times 7 is -35. So now we're going to look at these statements and see if they're true or not. Is 35 greater than or equal to -20? Is 20 greater than or equal to -20? Is -20 greater than or equal to -20? Is -35 greater than or equal to -20? Well, if you read these statements and you really understand them, you'll see that 3 of these numbers are going to make the inequality a true statement. 35 is greater than or equal to -20. 20 is greater than or equal to -20. -20, this time, since it has the or equal to, -20 does work. -20 is greater than or equal to -20. -35 is greater than or equal to -20. That's not a true statement. We're going to do one more example here. See if you can figure out this one. So hopefully you've worked it out. You plug them in. This is going to require a little bit of an extra step here. You have this 8 minus -7. You got to be real careful here. That's a double negative right there. That's going to turn into a plus. So then you work it out. 15 is greater than or equal to 6. Here we're going to have a double negative. I'm going to rewrite it. And 8 plus 4 is 12. Then we have 8 minus 4. So this one doesn't require any rewriting because there's no double signs. That's going to be 4 is greater than or equal to 6. Then I'm going to have 8 minus 7, which is 1. Now looking at these final statements, 15 is greater than or equal to 6. 12 is greater than or equal to 6. These other two choices are not true. 4 is not greater than 6. 1 is not greater than 6. So -7 and -4 are the ones that work, the choices here that work for this inequality. There's actually an infinite amount of choices that can work. We're not going to go there yet. Just for today, you just need to make sure you understand how to pick solutions for inequalities. That's about it. Hope this helps. Best of luck to you.